The movie begins in Greece, as Henry Cavill's slick British agent, Aubrey Argylle, gets ready to close in on Lagrange, the terrorist, Dua Lipa. Following a little dance, Lagrange orders her assassins to point their weapons at Argylle. He then gets in touch with his partner, Kira, who use her technology to figure out how to get Argylle out. After that, Lagrange surrounds Argylle and Kira outdoors and opens fire, striking Kira in the chest. In an attempt to save her, Argylle calls Wyatt, a fellow partner, played by John Cena, to apprehend Lagrange before she can flee. After Wyatt finds her, he and Argylle question Lagrange to find out who her employer is. It comes out that she works for the director Fowler, who also hired Wyatt and Argylle. Lagrange poisons herself before she can be hauled in, and Argylle now wonders who he can really trust. Since the entire sequence was taken from the final chapter of the 4th book in the Argylle book series, it switches to a book reading by Ellie Conway, Bryce Dallas Howard, the author of the books from which the character is derived. She heads to her own cottage with her pet cat Alfie after responding to a few questions so that she may start writing the 5th book. She writes the entire thing during the evening, believing she has finished it by the time she goes to bed. Ruth, Catherine O'Hara, Ellie's mother, gets in touch with her in the morning after spending the entire night reading the manuscript Ellie sent her.
Oh, I read it. Overnight? The whole thing?
Ruth thinks the novel is decent overall, but the finale is a cop-out in her opinion. Ellie then sets out to try writing a new chapter in an attempt to improve the book's ending. She imagines a number of possibilities to offer Argylle a happier conclusion, but she can't seem to come up with anything. When Ruth offers to assist Ellie finish the novel, Ellie chooses to travel to Chicago by train with Alfie. She is accosted by Aidan Wilde, Sam Rockwell, a male on the train. He introduces himself as Ellie's fan before warning her that she is the target of someone on the train. Shortly after, a fan approaches with a dagger that seems to be a pen. This forces Aidan to act quickly and begin battling assassins as Ellie tries to hide, though she sees Argylle taking Aidan's place. Carlos, Tomas Paredes, who Ellie knows from the book reading as a purported fan, is one of the assassins. After that, Aidan leads Ellie to the train's conclusion, where he blows off the doors and parachutes out of the vehicle with her and Alfie, causing Ellie to pass out in the air. Aidan had chopped off his hair and says he took Ellie to a cabin when she wakes up. He tells her that Director Ritter, Bryan Cranston, is in charge of the Division, a dark organization that employs assassins. They have already read Ellie's manuscript for Book 5 and are waiting for her to complete the last chapter since they feel that certain occurrences in their field of work are predicted in her books. Ritter is shown killing his deputy director, Rob Delaney, for not capturing Ellie and obtaining a master file that would have exposed every Division agent. In addition, Wyatt is modeled after Aidan, although Kira was a genuine person who, it seems, passed away. In order to track down an informant named Bakunin, Stanley Morgan, who was supposed to give him the master file, Aidan enlists Ellie and Alfie. Aidan gets Ellie to start writing the next chapter so he can figure out where to find Bakunin. Ritter and his men listen in since some fans record Ellie with their phones.
What should we do?
Well, I am a spy, after all.
They are taken to a flat that is purportedly Bakunin's. All they discover is a gap beneath the floorboards, where Aidan discovers a book with data penned by Bakunin. As soon as Division assassins begin moving toward the structure, Ellie and Aidan take cover beneath the floorboards.
Shit! God, I hate that cat.
After some time, Aidan emerges from beneath to begin executing the assassins. The two head for the roof and jump over onto a trash can below before more arrive. For safety, Aidan takes Ellie to his London home. As he's talking to his employer in the bathroom with the shower running, Ellie hears Aidan declare that she needs a bullet in her head. She snatches Alfie out of fear for her life and calls Ruth to arrange for her to travel to Chicago on her own. Ellie gets there and meets Ruth again before her father does, and Ritter is the outcome. Before Aiden gets there, he begins searching through Ellie's belongings and informs her that these two are not her parents. Ruth, real name Margaret Vogler, pulls a gun on Ellie and uses a British accent after Ritter abandons the Dad Act. Aiden shoots her, knocking Ritter unconscious before horrifying Ellie and, regrettably, abandoning Alfie in the process.
In the car! Let's go!
What about Alfie?
Alfie!
I forgot Alfie.
The cat!
I can't leave him. I have to go back. I have to.
You're kidding me.
Ellie is escorted by Aiden to meet Alfred "Alfie" Solomon, his employer, Samuel L. Jackson.
This is Alfie.
Alfie?
Oh, her cat. She named her cat Alfie.
It's a perfect name.
As in Alfred Solomon?
Yeah.
The former deputy director of CIA, Alfred Solomon?
It is here that Ellie discovers the real Agent Argylle is none other than Ellie.
B.S. Your friend? Looney Tunes. Do you hear me? Looney Tunes!
Her novels were recollections of her former existence as a spy, rather than prophecies. Agent Argylle, since her real name is Rachel Killa, lost her memories following a botched mission. Before Aiden could reach Rachel, Ritter and Vogler pretended to be her parents, leading Rachel to believe that she had always been a budding writer, so that she could record her ideas and ultimately bring her down. They were hoping that the location of the master file would be disclosed in the most recent book. Ellie is shocked by the information until Aiden challenges her to a fight, at which point she uses her retained abilities to neutralize him. Ellie and Aiden are informed by Solomon that Saba al-Badr, also known as the Keeper, Sophia Boutella, is a division associate who is in possession of the master file. After arriving in Arabia, Ellie has to assume the identity of Rachel once more. Aiden begins dancing with Ellie at her compound as he waits to talk with Saba, claiming that they were formerly romantically linked. When Ellie is alone and speaks with Saba, she pretends to be Rachel sufficiently that Saba gives her the master file. After locating Ellie and Aiden, the division captures them and takes them aboard their big ship. Ellie had recently discovered that the division considered her an asset. She killed Bakunin before stealing the master file, and her memory loss was caused by the explosion. His apartment self-destructed, according to a flashback. Ellie shoots Aiden in the chest to give Ritter the impression that she is on their side in order to save herself. In addition, she has to act as though Ritter is responsible for Alfie, and she doesn't care for him. She actually shot him in a precise spot so that the bullet would pass through his chest without striking his heart. Ellie learned from a fan theory that Kira's survival depended on halting the bleeding as soon as possible. After escaping, Aiden kills his captors and proceeds to assist Ellie. Before Ellie confronts Carlos and his cronies, who must put an end to the gunshots as crude oil begins to pour out, she has one more hallucination of Argylle, informing her that she never needed him to do what he could do. Ellie suddenly recalls that she used to like ice skating, so she attaches some blades to her shoes and glides over the oil while slashing through the assassins and fighting Carlos, ultimately stabbing him in the heart. Before she and Aiden eliminate every single bad guy on the ship together, they kill the last assassins with style. When they get to the ship's control room to give Solomon the master file, Ritter points his rifle in their direction. Then, Aiden gets the opportunity to fire and kill Ritter as Alfie leaps toward the villain and starts to scratch at his face. Sadly, Alfie cut out his eyes because the upload required a retinal exam, but Aiden manages to get around it. The two start uploading the file to Solomon, but just as they are about to finish, Vogler appears with a music box that tries to kill Aiden by mind-controlling Ellie. This also causes her to pause the upload. Reluctantly, Aiden battles Ellie, coming dangerously close to death until a masked attacker boards the ship, braining Vogler with a wrench, causing her to drop the music box, which breaks as it hits the floor and breaks Ellie's mind control. Since Kira was the one who presented Ellie with the notion, it turns out that she is the attacker. Kira survived her gunshot wound in the same manner that Aiden did. Vogler and the remaining survivors of the ship are killed when the three, together with Alfie, send the remaining master file and abandon the ship to explode. Aiden and Ellie also share a final kiss. Ellie completes Book 5, returning to her writing career and providing a fitting happy ending for Argylle. A fan asks her what happened to the characters after the story when she returns to the bookshop to read it again. Ellie claims that, hypothetically, Kira went on to succeed in the IT industry. Solomon was awarded high accolades by the CIA for uncovering the division, and Ellie and Aiden seem to be dating. Before Ellie concludes, a different fan, who appears to be a much geekier version of Ellie, stands to ask a question and makes the unexpected suggestion that Ellie may have more questions for Argylle. There is a flashback to 20 years ago during the credits. Entering a pub, a young Argylle, Lewis Partridge, appears to be employed by the Kingsman Agency. They both exist in the same universe. The phrase Argylle, Book 1, then emerges, indicating that Ellie's debut novel will soon be adapted on the big screen.
Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.